All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been giving you some bonus lectures for the AWD1111 or 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class, and in particular in Chapter 25 of our associated textbook, Murox ASP.NET 4.6 with C# 2015 6th edition. Chapter 25 in there was on MVC, or the Model View Controller. So I've been trying to replicate a udemy.com course that's called Create an ASP.NET MVC Application in an Hour. There really are about 59 minutes worth of lecture in here, and I would strongly suggest that you spend the $10 when it's on sale for $10 and buy the course. But I've come through here and I've been creating my own project, and I have been able to link up the database. Now, what the author does next never really explains why he does it, but I would have added a new controller right here, but instead of doing that, the author comes in and right mouse clicks, chooses Add New Scaffold Item right here, and adds an MVC controller with views using the entity framework. So he does that and clicks Add and comes out here. All right, and it says, well, what model class, basically, how do you want to do this, for lack of better words? Okay, and the first one that we ask for in here is priorities. Okay, that's going to be the model class. And it says, well, what do we want? Well, notice we only have the one thing there. All right, so we're going to have priorities. I'm not going to go over this stuff, but I'm just going to accept the defaults. All right, and for the name of the controller here, you're always supposed to end controllers with the word controller, but I'm going to call it priorities controller. So I right mouse clicked on my project name, chose add new scaffold item. I'm adding a controller, all right, with a model class of priorities. My data context class is my database, basically. I used all the default options, and I called my controller name priorities controller. And I'm looking in here, I'm trying to figure out why, for the life of me, it's graying this out. I don't know why. Well, let me go back to my cheat sheet and see how the author did it. So add new scaffolded item, that's exactly what I did. Use the MVC controller with views, that's what I did. We want here, the model class should be priority task list. For some reason, it's not shown like that. And the data context, so this is not correct. So I think that this should be here, where we had this should be priorities, but this should be tasks, like that. All right. Why would that not? Oh my goodness. Didn't have any of these kind of problems when I tried doing it earlier. So in fact, I believe that when I did it earlier and I had nothing here, that I could click the down arrow. That's what I want. Thank you. All right, so notice that's what should have happened. Drop down list. I'm going to do the tasks one in just a minute, but I've got priority tasks. I've got that filled in. There it is, and now I can add this. There was an error. Try rebuilding the project. Okay, so I'm going to cancel. I'm going to do it again, but they suggest, so you can see everything, go back and rebuild the project. Nothing magical is going to happen. It's not going to look any different. The build is started down here in the corner, and ideally, in just a moment, it's going to say build succeeded. All right, there it says succeeded. So I'm going to do the same thing. Right mouse click, choose, right mouse click on the project, choose add, new scaffolded item, MVC5 controller with views using entity framework. Now my down arrow, priority. All right, the data context class, choose that. Priorities controller, click add. Bingo. All right, and you might say nothing magical happened. It didn't yet, but we're going to fix that in just a moment. All right, so it's scaffolding. It's building the stuff for me behind the scenes. So it just built this for me, a priorities controller.cs file, which I'm not sure where it is, but okay. So there that is. Okay, now I want to come in and under my shared, I believe it is, the layout CS HTML file. In here, this has got the links as you can see them. This, and don't worry, all those errors will go away in just a moment, but this has got the links that are on my main menu. So I'm going to copy this line and I'm going to add right down here. Don't know what happened there. Other than I want to put that UL tag on a new line. All right, so I want to add here, and I want this to say priorities. I want this to say go back to my cheat sheet here. And I guess I didn't save a copy of that. All right, but I want that to be priorities. I want this to be index, and I want this to be priorities. If you say, I don't have any idea what that is, if you bear with me for a second, priorities. Okay? So let me save, and let me run the project again. If all worked, I will now have a new item that's there in my menu that says priorities. When I click that menu item, I'll be able to go in and add priorities. So there they are, create new. I'm going to create 4 priorities. All right, an ID, which I'll have an ID of 1 here, and that will be low, create, and there it is. Okay, I'm going to create another new one. This will be 2, and that should have been medium. See, IntelliSense is already kicking in because I've done this before. 3, this will be high. And finally, one more, 4, which will be urgent. All right, so I've created all those. What I really should have done, just an FYI for you, is I should have come in here and I should have, notice that I can only edit, I can't edit the IDs. I should have set the IDs up as being an auto increment field, and I didn't. Okay? But I now have this information in there. So I now have the information that's in here, okay, in my, the information that's in here in my priorities, where it says index. I don't like that. I think that should say priorities also, but let's go back. So let's come in and stop the run here. Go back to my program, stop the run, and I think these can all be priorities. All right. Now I want to do one more thing in this part of the lecture, and that is I want to go back in just like I had done, and I got to do the same thing for the tasks. So right mouse click on the name of my project, choose add, new scaffolded item, and this time again, all right, MVC5 controller add. This time though, instead of priorities, I want to add tasks. All right, and it's added everything for me, it looks like. I'm going to click add. Here's where the magic will come into play in just a second. All right, it added this new file for me. I want to go back to my layout file. Copy that to the clipboard. Paste. And now I want to put in here tasks. tasks, and tasks. All right. I'm going to save, and I'm going to run the program again. If I did it correctly, I will now have another link in here that says tasks. And now you'll start to see where the magic comes into play, so to speak. All right, there's tasks. Okay, the resource cannot be found. That isn't good. Okay, so something is wrong there, and I think I know what it is. So let's go back. I'll stop the run, and I will go back and stop the run in here. And I do believe that this middle one, contact, home, don't know if that one has to be home or not, but let's try that. We'll make this home. Oops, that's not good. Make that home, and we'll make that home. And we'll run the program again. All right, tasks still cannot be found. Cannot find home tasks. All right, I'll have to go back and check on that, so let me pause for a moment and I'll be right back. Actually, I'm at the point right here where I'm at 11 minutes. So I am going to fix the error, but let me find out what that error is. All right, and I'll come right back, fix that error, and then finish this up in my last lecture in just a couple moments.